everyone and welcome back to Mariana Math Books. My name is Mariana and today I'm here with a Poetry Thursday video. It has been a while since I've done Poetry Thursday. I love poetry but I don't read a lot of poetry, so I don't do this often. But currently I'm participating in ANCIENTSATHON, which is a readathon I talked about in my previous video. And for ANCIENTSATHON I am reading a 12th century Spanish epic poem that I am really loving, and so I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a Poetry Thursday video to share with you guys a bit. I'm going to share with you 2 or 3 stanzas just because I love it so much. And you know, ANCIENTSATHON is happening this month, so if you watch this video and it inspires you to try, I'm going to leave the information of ANCIENTSATHON and the co-hosts down below. But to get back to the poem that I am reading you guys today, I am reading the poem of Mio Cid, which in English it's translated as the poem of the Cid, or I have also seen it as the lay of the Cid. The Cid is the main character of the poem. The poem is about Spanish hero Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar. He was a historical figure who was alive during the time of the beginnings of the Reconquista, which is when the northern Spanish realms reconquered the Iberic Peninsula from the Moors, who had taken the peninsula before. It's actually something I'm reading about also for Historathon, so this video kind of merges a lot of things. It merges ANCIENTSATHON, it merges Historathon, and of course Poetry Thursday. That's my favorite kind of nerdy thing, when everything I'm reading collides together. So specifically about the poem, it was written in the 12th century. As I said, the poem is about Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar, who was known as the Cid, which is why the poem is the poem of the Cid. So a little bit about the poem. It was written in the 12th century after the Cid's death. He died around 1090-ish, and after his death it was written. It's actually not written long after his death, which is something unique to these types of songs, of these poems. But again, you can read more if you Google the poem. I'm not going to bore you guys with that. I think that's enough context. This is an epic poem in the vein of, you know, kind of like a Beowulf type thing, where you have a knight, you have heroic deeds, you have religion, that type of thing. I actually haven't finished reading the poem just because I am reading it in the Old Spanish. I am reading this version, which is by Colin Smith, and because it's in Old Spanish, it's taking me longer to read. At the back of the book, there is a glossary for the most used terms that are not used in modern Spanish, and I also have this edition, which has the Old English version in one side, and then the Old Spanish version in one side, and then the modern Spanish version on the other side. And so I'm reading these two together with the Old Spanish version. I prefer this version of the Old Spanish better than this one, so I'm reading the Old Spanish here alongside the glossary that comes with it, and then when I need more help I go to the modern Spanish version, which is from this edition. So that's why it's taking me a while to read. But at the moment, my favorite part of the poem has been when Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar is first exiled. He goes through a couple of exiles in history. After his first exile, that's when the poem begins, and there's a part where he says goodbye to his wife and his daughters, and then to his people, and it's actually a small stanza, short one. There is my favorite one, which is part of his goodbye to the people, like the big banquet when he says goodbye. I am going to read to you, I think I'm going to read to you 3 stanzas, just because I think if I read you just my favorite one, it will be super short. So I'm going to read you 3 from my favorite part of the poem so far. What I'm going to read you is an English translation I found for free online. I'm going to link it down below if you are curious. I have no idea about the quality of the translation, honestly. I'm not very good with, I'm not very knowledgeable when it comes to translation. Some people can say, oh, this is a very good translation, this is not. I honestly have no idea. It sounds okay, so, but it was hard to find. It's hard to find in Spanish as it is, so in English even more. And as I'm reading it in Spanish, the books I bought are in Spanish, so I didn't want to buy an English version just for this video. So I googled, I found that free translation, that's what I'm going to read to you guys. Okay, so as I said, this is after he has been exiled for the first time. This first stanza is his wife's perspective, it's his wife talking. There is a word here called campeador. Campeador is another way of how he was known. So when it says campeador, it means the Cid. So it goes, O campeador, fair bearded, a favor at thy hand. Behold, I kneel before thee, and thy daughters are here with me, that have seen of days not many, for children yet they be. And these who are my ladies, to serve my need that know. Now well do I behold it, thou art about to go. Now from thee our lives a season must sunder and remove, but unto us give succor for sweet Saint Mary's love. So that's his wife. And then the Cid says goodbye to his daughters. And so it says, the Cid, the nobly bearded, reached down unto the twain, and in his arms his daughters has lifted up again, and to his heart he pressed them, so great his love was grown, and his tears fell fast and bitter, and sorely did he moan, Jimena, as mine own spirit I love thee, gentle wife. But o'er well dost thou behold it, we must sunder in our life. I must flee, and thou behind me, here in the land must stay. Please God and sweet Saint Mary, that yet upon a day I shall give my girls in marriage with mine own hand, rich and well, and thereafter in good fortune be suffered yet to dwell. May they grant me, wife, much honored, to serve thee them once more. And then comes my favorite stanza, which is my favorite in the old Spanish. There's something so beautiful about it. I don't know if it's my favorite in English, but here goes anyway. And again, these 3 stanzas are all together, so it's the wife saying goodbye, and then the daughters, and then it's the setting of the feast for the people who are going to say goodbye. A mighty feast they had prepared for the great campeador. The bells within San Pedro, they clamor and they peal, that my lord the Cid is banished, men cry throughout Castile. And some have left their houses, from their lands some fled away. Of knights 115 were seen upon that day. By the bridge across the Ireland Son together they came over. One and all they were calling on the Cid Campeador, and Martin Antolines has joined him with their power. They sought him in San Pedro, who was born in a good hour. As I said, that last one is my favorite stanza so far in the poem. I think I'm going to leave it at that because it's long enough as it is. So, yes, I hope you like this video. I had fun filming it. I always say that I should film more Poetry Thursday videos, and then I never do. I actually have a poetry collection coming. I think it arrives tomorrow. It's a poetry collection by Guy Gabriel Kay, which I'm very excited about. So maybe I will do a future Poetry Thursday video with a Guy Gabriel Kay poem. In the meantime, I will see you with another bookish video soon. And I never know what to say, so in the meantime, I wish you happy reading.